Every year, tens of thousands of elephants are being killed for their ivory. Now, there are as few as 435,000. This pushes the largest land mammal towards extinction. In 2013, Nadya Hutagalung and Dr. Tammy Madsen embarked on a journey to Africa to further investigate the illegal ivory trade for their new movement, Let Elephants Be Elephants.
The Libby movement was started, we actually started working on the project about almost a year ago now. It was founded by Dr. Tammy Madsen, who is a zoologist, an author and a conservationist, and she spent half of her life in Africa, and she's written 3 books on elephants. So Tammy was sharing with me a little bit about the situation in Africa with the elephants, and I was surprised, and I figured that if I was surprised about the situation with the poaching and the demand for ivory that's being driven by Asian consumers, then the chances are that most people don't know. And the reality is that 80% of people don't know that elephants have to die to support the ivory trade. To remove the tusks from the elephant, they have to, generally they kill the elephant because the tusks are embedded deep into the skull of the elephant. And to remove them, they actually have to hack the face off the elephant. And sometimes the elephants are not dead because obviously the poachers are in a hurry, they don't want to be caught. And as long as the elephant is down, then they will just hack the face off the elephant. The poachers themselves would only be benefiting from the tusks financially. On the ground in Africa, the poachers would be getting around 16,000 to 20,000 for a large pair of tusks. And then once they hit the ground in Asia, it goes up to about 160,000 to 200,000. And that's uncarved, and once they're carved, they can even be up to $1 million. Being in Africa for a month, we saw everything from the orphans. So there's the elephants who have been orphaned through the ivory trade. Without an orphanage or without someone looking after them, they will die. Because up until I think 3 years, they're still drinking milk. And the milk for elephants is really specialized. So it's something that even a woman who's the one that's most successful in doing this, it took her 23 years to be able to get the right milk for the elephants to ensure that they survive. And so we learned all about the baby elephants, which are adorable and they're so cute, and you fall in love with them the minute you see them, but then you realize that it's so sad, the reason that they're there. And the fact that they don't forget things, and the fact that they also get traumatized just like humans do, and they're scarred from seeing their entire families being killed. So that's quite sad. And then going and learning about their behaviors in the wild, and then going, of course, and seeing the harsher side of things, which is the poaching. And when we were there, not only did we see the elephants that were being killed, but also a rhino that was freshly killed only a week before we arrived, and seeing several elephant carcasses. I don't know whether the life expectancy of these baby elephants is shortened because of what they've been through emotionally, but I do know that elephants that are kept in captivity and elephants that are no longer part of big herds in the wild, they miss a lot of essential information and essential learning. So in Africa, in Asia, they don't have many other female elephants with big tusks, whereas in Africa, the females also have very big tusks, and they're the biggest ones are the matriarchs, and they hold all of the wisdom and all of the knowledge. They have all of the knowledge about the migration trails, where to find food, how to get water when there's no water, and even things like how to give birth. So if an elephant is in captive now, it's something that I just learned when I went to Thailand, captive elephants can't give birth normally because it's something that they've never learned from the herd. And so these are all things that are so important from elephants. The most astonishing thing that I've learned from this journey so far would be how little education there is out there. In the US and the UK and Japan, in the late 80s, there was a lot of education around the ivory trade, and that was what helped to push the global ban on ivory. But in 2012, we're in 2014, 2012 I think was, or 2013 was one of the worst years on record for the ivory trade, and it's because of the new wealth in Asia. So Asia is really driving the demand for ivory, and because there's been no education here, people simply don't know about the ivory trade. They don't know that elephants are being killed so brutally, that the poachers who are trying to look after them are also being killed, that the ivory trade is also funding terrorism. And because of that, you know, when we went to Thailand and into the markets there, we see people who walk up to the stalls and say, oh, that one elephant tooth, that one elephant tooth? Okay, I want to buy. And they just buy a bracelet or they buy a pair of earrings and then they walk away. And that was really harsh for me, especially coming from Africa and then going to the ivory markets was really, it was really hard to see. The situation right now has improved, I think, a little bit in terms of awareness, and the pressure on the ground has increased. There have been higher sentences being imposed for those who are being caught, but I think generally here in Asia there's more work that needs to be done, a lot more work that needs to be done, it's a long process. But I have faith because the thing is that for ivory, the main consumers of ivory are women because they're accessories. And ivory is not used for any medicinal purposes, it's purely ornamental. And the fact that so many people don't know the way that the elephant has to die to supply the ivory is a good thing, because it means it's simply education. And the fact that most of the consumers are women and we're more, you know, naturally more compassionate, you know, I have faith that soon things could turn around. Hi, I'm Nadya Hutagalung. Say no to ivory at letelefantsbeelephants.org. It's simple, just take the pledge.